Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we're taking a look at something I came up with. This is a one-pot camp or emergency meal using some freeze-dried wholesaler food, and this is spicy chicken pasta. Let's check it out. Alright folks, welcome back. So I wanted to kind of bring you today something that I have put away in my own prep stash. I've actually used these before. They are what I call my one-pot camp or emergency meals. Basically, they cook in one pot all together. You don't have to hydrate anything. You don't have to wait for stuff. Now, they will not cook in the bag, no matter what bag you use, and that's why I use the vacuum bags. They're not going to cook in the bag because they need to be boiled. So it's not really an MRE. You do have to prepare it, but you only need one pot and a little bit of water. So that's kind of convenient, all right? It doesn't require a ton of water. I believe this one's 3.5 cups is what I usually use for it. You do need a stove where the flame is adjustable, so we'll be using my Brulin stove. You can use a smaller one. As long as you can simmer on it, you'll be fine with this. Doing this over an open fire, you'll have to keep stirring and keep it from boiling over. I am using a smaller cup today. It's a 4-cup one, and I'm using 3.5 cups with this stuff in it. So we'll probably have to keep an eye on it and stir it a lot, but that's okay. I want it to hydrate. So what we're going to do, I'm going to show you this first of all. This is one I made last year on 7/2/21. And this is just one of my little meals. This is spicy chicken pasta. Now it doesn't look like there's much in there spicy, but you'll see what goes into it when we get going. I also did not put the soy sauce in this one when I packed it, but what I do is I boil the water with 4 things of soy sauce in it. So the next one we're going to pack, we're going to put the soy sauce with it. You can put it inside or you can put it to the side. I may do that, I may not. But I'm going to show you how I pack this up. Another thing I added was a little bit of the freeze-dried Parmesan cheese from freeze-dried wholesalers. And by the way, folks, my link down below will save you 15% on anything you want to order from them. So, you know, they had to raise their prices a little bit, but you can save and kind of get that off using my 15% code. It'll actually save you a little more than what they raised the prices. I'm also using some of their freeze-dried pulled chicken. You can use their cube chicken. Anything that's pre-cooked you can use for this because you really just need to hydrate it. So the first thing I'm going to do is get one of these little bags out. We're going to put everything in it, and then we're going to seal it up with the sealer back there, and then we will get into cooking one. So let's start that. All right, so the first ingredient you're going to add is the mini spaghetti. Now you can just take spaghetti and break it up into smaller pieces. You can use some of the freeze-dried wholesaler noodles. I like to use this stuff here. You can usually find this in the Mexican section of your grocery store. What do they call them? Fitos or Filitos or whatever? I forget I don't know the correct pronunciation of them. But they're the very fine pasta in a smaller bag. These are actually made in Mexico. So I like these because they're very easy to hydrate and cook. They cook quickly. If you use pasta, you may need to put that in first. Generally, I just like to have something I can dump in the pot, boil it, and be done with it. Real easy, real long time storage too. They will store in the bag very, very long time. So basically what you're going to need is a full cup of that. And I'm kind of working with a little restricted space today because I have so much in here to review. So don't mind if I'm kind of slow at doing things. Okay, I'm just going to take one level cup of it. Generally, these bags will give you two entrees. A bag like this will give you 2 of these little entrees with a little tiny bit left over on the bottom. And we're going to dump that in the bag. Then we're going to go for the chicken. So it's 8 ounces or 1 cup of broken up spaghetti, however you want to do it. I tend to use that stuff because, like I said, it's very, very easy to use. Next up, we're going to do a 1/2 cup of freeze-dried chicken, and that is our freeze-dried wholesaler pulled chicken here that I'm using. Okay, I've used this one up almost completely. This stuff's really good, by the way. And I'm thinking if you want to start getting stocked up on food, now is the time to do it because things are looking odd in the world right now. So I will definitely give you that little bit of advice. So there you go. That's about a 1/2 cup. You dump that in there. Okay. Then we're done with the cups for now, so we'll move those out of the way. Now, next up, we're going to do 2 tablespoons of freeze-dried onion. I haven't opened one here before I use that one. So I'm going to use 2 tablespoons of this. Pop it in there. And again, I'm not exactly super accurate with it, just enough. There we go. Yeah, that's about right. Good. Okay. So now that's in there as well. Now, next up, we're going to use 3 teaspoons of chicken broth powder. You can get this pretty much anywhere. I get mine from Dollar Tree because it's just so inexpensive. I have this bouillon here. So we need 3 tablespoons of that, teaspoons, I'm sorry. Okay. And the nice part about this is you can cook this wherever. You know, it's a good for, you can put them away for emergency meals, or you can put them away as camp meals, whatever you want to do. For those of you folks who were out there with field day this weekend, you know, it's an easy way to put together a meal and not have to stop operating your radio. You just boil some water, keep an eye on it, and you're ready to go. Next up, 1 tablespoon of freeze-dried garlic, which is over here. I believe I have to open this one because I haven't opened it yet. There we go. Okay. So, we're going to do 1 tablespoon freeze-dried garlic, 1 teaspoon, I'm sorry, in there. If you like garlic, like I do, you can add a little half of another one. Real easy. Then lastly, you're going to add 1/4 to 1/2 tablespoon of red pepper flakes. Now I have a 1/4 teaspoon here. That all depends on how hot you want this to be. This is kind of an odd combination, and when I first saw the recipe and kind of modified it a little bit to how I liked it, I thought it was kind of odd to put in a little bit. I like it a little spicier, so I'm going to put a little bit more in there. Okay? And that's pretty much it. Now, like I said, I'm going to be packing up some soy sauce with this one. Basically, here's your meal. What I do, generally, I'll fold it over like this and shake it as flat as I can get it, okay? And then seal it up. And you end up with something like this. So I'm not going to seal this one yet because we're going to be using this for this to cook this today. I'm not going to seal it yet. We do have our sealer back there, and that's what we used to do that a year ago. So I'm going to wait until I go back inside, get the soy sauce, and seal this one up. But you see how easy that is to do. It's really, really simple. So what I'm going to do next is set up my burner in 1 pot, and I'm going to show you how easy this kind of meal is to prepare. Give me a sec. I'll bring you right back. Okay, now one of the things I did forget in the previous video there was to put in my Parmesan cheese. I didn't do it with this one, and I tried this recipe, of course, without bagging it up again, just to try it, and I put a little Parmesan cheese in it, and it tasted really good, and this is the freeze-dried wholesaler's Parmesan cheese. So I just put about 2 teaspoons in here, and this is ready to seal up. You see I got my things of soy sauce in there. I'm doing 3 things of soy sauce, and again, we'll shake this flat, put it in the sealer, and do that. I'm going to do that after the video because I want to get the cooking going here so you guys can see it. Watching me vacuum seal something isn't all that exciting, I'm sure. So we're going to get going with this. First thing I'm going to do is move this stuff out of the way, and I'm going to put my 3½ cups of water in there. Now I experimented. I put like 4 cups, 2 cups. 3½ seemed to be about right. You're going to put your water in here, and you're going to open up your thing and put your soy sauce in with the water. I know that seems odd, but it seemed to work very, very well with this recipe. So I'm going to pour my water in, and it's 3½ cups. And again, this is kind of small to do it. You may want to do it in a bigger pot, but it'll probably be okay. I can see I got a good, distance there before I'd be spilling over. And remember, with pasta, you do have to watch it because it will boil over if you're not careful. So let's put the soy sauce in now. Just rip these open. Whoop. And remember not to squirt your soy sauce all over your table. Wasn't that bad. There we go. Okay. Then I'm going to fire up this, and we're going to let it boil. Once it boils, we're going to put our stuff in. So we're going to give it time to boil. For those of you interested in the stove, this is in my store, my Amazon store. I get a lot of questions about this every time. And the cool part about this is it really simmers very, very well. I can go really, really low with this. Or I can turn it into a blowtorch. So either way, it kicks butt. So we're going to do it about this way. There we go. Okay. And I'm going to let that go. And I'll bring you back when we're boiling. Alright, so we've got boiling water here. I'm going to cut this open. You can open this any way you want. The integrity of the bag was perfect from a year ago, so I can't really complain about that. I'm going to turn it down a little bit so it's easy to pour in there. Okay? And as I'm putting this in, I'm going to stir it, a little bit at a time so I don't get it overflowing. Now they tell you when you do this kind of stuff to let it continue to boil. I am going to do that very, very low because we're kind of close to the top there. Okay? And I'm just going to keep stirring. So you can do this with any size pot. This just happens to be a Stanley 2-person burner. I am going to turn it off right there quickly, just to make sure I don't overflow. Okay? And I'll turn it back on when we turn the camera off, and I'll just kind of sit here and stir it so I can pay attention to it. Again, you can use a larger one if you want. You don't have to. Again, I can just sit and stir this and let it hydrate. So give me a few minutes, and I'll bring you back when that is almost ready. After this boils for about 5 minutes, we're going to cover and let it sit for another 5 minutes, and all that stuff will be rehydrated. So let me sit here, stir it while it's cooking, and I'll bring you back, and you'll see how amazing that comes out. So you can see how low this stove can simmer. I got a nice rolling boil here, and I've just been keeping an eye on it and stirring it a little bit till it gets a little warm on my hands there. Pull back. But you can see how low that simmers and keep this at a rolling boil. So really pleased with the stove. If you're interested in the stove, I'm going to try to remember after the video to put a link to it because it is a really neat stove. It's a bigger stove. It's larger. It's not tiny, but I think you'll appreciate it. All right, starting to hydrate. So I will bring you back when we cover it and let it sit for 5 minutes, and we'll go from there. So we've been going at a rolling boil for about 4.5 minutes. I wanted to give you guys the recipe for this because I know I kind of ran through it quick while I was throwing stuff in there. You're going to need 8 ounces of mini spaghetti, or a cup. Now you can use mini spaghetti, you can use regular spaghetti and break it up, or you can use these little Mexican pasta that I use. I find the Mexican pasta hydrates a lot quicker. It's almost done, actually. It's almost soft. Half a cup of freeze-dried chicken, okay? 2 tablespoons of freeze-dried onion, 3 teaspoons of chicken broth powder, 1 teaspoon freeze-dried garlic, and about 1/4 to 1/2 teaspoon of red pepper flakes. You're also going to need 4 soy sauce packets to put in the water and boil it. I find putting it in the water and boiling it makes it taste more, I don't know, I guess the best way to say is it's laced with soy sauce instead of seasoned heavily with soy sauce. That's the best way to put it. So it looks like it's pretty much almost done. Just has to puff out a little bit. The water's almost gone there. So what I'm going to do is turn this off. Okay? I'm going to turn it off, cover it, and let it sit for 5 minutes. And I'll bring you back when it's fully finished. Then we'll try it out. Now I tasted out a little bit of the broth, and that little tiny bit of red pepper flakes gave it just enough kick. It's perfect. Not too spicy, where you're going to be fanning your mouth looking for a bottle of water to drink. But also, you got that little bit of flavor in there. So let's leave it alone for 5 minutes. Bring you back when it's done, and we'll try it out. All right, so we're almost done. It's almost ready to go. Most of the stuff has rehydrated. It looks good, and it tastes good, but don't tell anybody I tried it yet. So if you're going to be using freeze-dried ingredients versus dehydrated, I would recommend that you get a bag that's very well sealed. Like what I did with freeze-dried stuff, and I used the freeze-dried wholesaler stuff, is I used the vacuum sealer. Now for long term, again, this is a year old, and I'm telling you right now, I did taste it, and it's perfectly fine in a vacuum sealed bag. You don't probably want to put it in a Ziploc and store it for a year. Probably be okay, but not sure. For short term, if you're going out for the weekend and you want to make up a couple of these for your trip, awesome idea, perfect way to go. But for long term, I would put it in a vacuum sealed bag, or at least a smaller Mylar bag, like those MRE bags we had, with oxygen absorbers. You can check those out from Wallaby from my video a few days ago. Put it in with oxygen absorbers, it'll suck out all the air and keep it fresh. All right, let's take a look here and see. It looks pretty done to me. There you go. Got a little bit of sauce left in there. I'm going to scoop this out. We're going to give it a try. There we go. That's good. So maybe next time I'd use a little bit less water, like maybe 3 cups instead of 3.5. But it does seem to have hydrated pretty good. There's a little bit of liquid left in there. I'll give you a close-up. Remember, you can use freeze-dried vegetables in this, anything you want in there. I didn't put anything in there because at the time I didn't have any freeze-dried vegetables. I just started doing freeze-dried wholesaler stuff. Very, very hot. Oh, excuse me. Very, very hot, but very, very tasty. Hot as in temperature, not spicy. So I gotta say, that's an awesome, easy, one-pot meal right there. And again, you can scale this down to whatever works for you. If you have a single little burner, a small burner, that will simmer well, and I know some of the little BTS 25-gram tiny little titanium burners, they actually simmer well. I've actually had them simmer pretty well. And you can couple it with one of these, stick it on there in a cup, and you can do it that way. So if you have a burner that will simmer well, you don't want to put full blast on this the whole time. You've got a burner that simmers well and will remain able to simmer it and let it, hydrate. It's an awesome meal. Very easy to make, very simple. I am going to seal this one up in a little bit, the one we made on camera. But I didn't want to bother doing it here because I wanted to get cooking with this. But as you can see, that's enough to feed one extremely hungry person, or maybe two extremely hungry kids, or two adults. I mean, that's a good amount of food in there. There's a whole lot left in here. There we go. A little bit uneven portion, but you get the idea. That's a pretty decent amount of food right there. And very easy to throw together and cook. And you see, it didn't take much effort. I literally boiled water, threw it in there. If you find you use a little too much water, the first few times I tried this experiment, this recipe, I found I used way too much water. You can just drain it off. The flavor from the soy sauce is still in the food. It won't be as strong, but you can just drain it off. I think next time I just use 3 cups for this. And again, if you use more volume in your bag, if you're going to put, like, say, zucchini and other stuff in here, or broccoli, you need to use more water to hydrate it. But I think I'll do 3 cups next time, because this was almost perfect. I was a little bit concerned doing this live on video here without any takes about how much water that would do, because I did 4 last time and it was too much, so I figured 3.5. And it came out nearly perfect. I mean, there's a little bit of liquid in there, but hey, some people like that. It's kind of like a soup. So that is the spicy chicken pasta one-pot camp or emergency meal. Remember, folks, if you can't afford to go out and spend a fortune on MREs and, Mountain House food and bags, getting some freeze-dried wholesaler stuff and putting together 20 or 30 of these is a whole lot cheaper. I mean, I put that together for maybe $2 or $3 compared to going out and spending $9 or $10 now, which is what Mountain House costs now, and even the cheapest at Walmart. So definitely check out freeze-dried wholesalers. This is one of the reasons I like their stuff, is because I can mix and choose what I want. I'm not stuck to a menu that some company has come up with me for. I can put in what I like, I can put in, if I wanted to put in some broccoli, carrots, whatever, along with this stuff, I could do that too. I can make it any way I want just by buying the food and packing it the way I like it, instead of having to pay for food that's very expensive and not the way you want it. So that is the video for today. Again, my link for freeze-dried wholesalers will be down below. You can save 15% by clicking the link. I'm sure some of you guys that have been with me for a while are like, dude, I know already. But for those of you that are new, you can save 15% by clicking that link and shopping online. And definitely awesome food. He has great food, and he's still in stock and still going strong. So make sure you get stocked up before things hit the fan later this year, as I'm suspecting they might. Below that, we have our Jace Medical, okay? If you need some antibiotics for your family and you need them prescribed with a telehealth visit by an American doctor and sent to your door, you can get that done with Jace Medical. You just go online, fill out a form, do a quick teleconference, telemedicine visit, and you will have your stuff sent right to you, right to your door from the United States. You're not buying it overseas from who knows where, what website. It's legal, it's legit, and you get your antibiotics for most common types of things. You also get consultation for the first year if you have any questions, and you get a guide on how to use those antibiotics written by doctors. Below that, we have our My Patriot Supply link. That's preparewithiridium.com. $150 off this month. Act quickly, the month is ending. $150 off this month on a 3-month kit. If you don't want to do a 3-month kit, we got a 4-week kit that's $50 off, so that's a good deal as well. And our Amazon affiliate store, all the stuff that I have here, this stuff here is all in my Amazon affiliate store. The stove, the pots, everything. Check them out there. And our Thrive Life freeze-dried food store. This will also work with Thrive if you want to get some Thrive and try it too. You don't need to join anything. Okay, I know I got a lot of new consultants and delivery customers this month, but you don't need to join. You can go online and just buy the food and try it out. Anyway, folks, I thank you for watching. Stay safe and stay prepared.